Xavier McKinney, was that just a rest day yesterday?
Yeah. Yep.
Brian, you don't.
That's all you got? No, that's all. No.
You haven't changed much from day one, but you know the team's now 5-1. Have you seen a little more getty up or confidence in them daily because of what the record is now?
I think we try to be consistent. That's what we've preached since we've been here. The guys have been really good. Their attitudes have been good since we got here. You know, in OTAs and training camp, it's a good group. I think they got the right mindset, and that's all we try to preach is be consistent. You come out there every day like that, whether we lose, whether we win. If you get 2 up or 2 down in this league, it'll eat you up pretty quick. So we try to stay even keel and get ready to play, our next opponent.
You're still underdogs in this game. I know you don't particularly look at that, but why do you think people on the outside aren't believers?
We don't focus on that. We focus on what we can do each day to get better. I don't really think it matters one way or the other. It matters how you play, how you coach, how you get ready. We try to focus on the things that, trust our preparation, trust the things we need to do each week, and that's where we focus on.
Now, within the building, obviously, you guys have a pretty positive mindset. Where do you think that comes from after all those years, of the past couple of years, of the guys kind of not winning as many games and not doing as well?
Again, I just go back to, we control what we can control. And we tried to establish what we want to be about way back a long time ago. Again, you're not going to always get the results you want. There's a lot of things we can do better. But I think, focus on what we can do to improve and just take it from there day by day.
How do you feel Fabian Moreau's played since he's become a pretty important part of the secondary there?
Yeah, he's been a good addition. He came in here, he picked up our defense really well. He's a good teammate. He's played well for us.
What made you guys go after him right away, and were you surprised when he showed up?
Well, I just give credit to Joe and the scouting staff, and there's a lot of people that we look at. Really, you look at the entire league. That's what Joe does every week. So do all the other scouts. And then when guys come up, we work guys out. Usually we have a workout on a Monday or a Tuesday every week. We think a player can help us. We bring him out.
You mentioned at one point that Aaron Robinson, it could go either way, whether he would be able to come back this season. It seems like he is going to be able to make it back. What's the situation there at this point?
Really not much to add there. He's, going to rehab and see where it's at.
You feel confident that he will be able to get back this year at this point now?
I don't look too far ahead. You know that. Just take it day by day.
You talked a lot about how Daniel's made good decisions, but is it easier said than done when you guys are getting off these slow starts for a quarterback not to maybe try and force it to make something happen?
Probably good question for Daniel. I think he just tries to play within the things we ask him to do. Certainly that's one of the things we need to do better is get off to a faster start. But it's we work at it each week, and we'll try to do that this week.
Brian, you were talking earlier this week about Saquon and just watching kind of what you've learned from him. Mm-hmm. What have you seen him do differently this season that maybe you weren't expecting from him?
I didn't have any expectations coming in. I think you first get to meet the players, and then, like I've said, since he's been out here at OTAs, he's done everything we've asked him to do. Practices hard, prepares hard. He's obviously a very talented player, really good teammate, good leader. Everything that I saw way back when, a few months ago, the things he does just verify what I think about him.
Is there a trend line in your starts that you've seen? Because you said they haven't been as what you said they weren't what you wanted them to be.
Yeah, we gotta, everybody's got to do a better job. Starting with me and all the way through. We gotta execute when we need to execute. We gotta do a good job of designing our plays to start out the game. There's no magic recipe for it. We can all do a better job.
Brian, when you got here earlier this year, what did you see that you were able to do to kind of galvanize this team to get to this point where you're 5-1 looking at 6-1?
It just all goes back to the players. They play well when it counts the most. They do the things they need to do during the week. Again, doesn't guarantee you a victory by any stretch. And the coaches, the support staff, everybody's just moving in the one direction. I think they care about one another. Again, that doesn't guarantee anything in this league. I just give those guys, I give the players first and foremost credit, the player or the coaches and the support staff.
I'll go back to injuries. 2 outside linebackers, O'Shane and Aziz. Either one feel confident for Sunday?
I do not feel confident.
Any of them?
Looking that way. Yeah.
Any of the other limited guys be full today? Limited yesterday.
Limited guy. Like who?
Feliciano for
Feliciano? Yeah, he should be good.
Andrew Thomas.
Andrew Thomas should be good.
Did Aziz have a setback this week? He seemed like he was getting close.
Yeah, I think he's working at it. I just don't think we're. We'll see where we're at.
Let's take 3 more.
When you look at your 6 games in, you guys put so much emphasis on attacking week to week, identity, what you're going to do offensively, defensively. Does it come a point in time, is there a balance between that and not wanting to reinvent yourself, quote unquote, and sticking to what works at some point in the season?
It's every week is such a new week. You're seeing new matchups with players on either side of the ball. We've put our systems in OTAs and training camp. We've practiced, I'd say a lot of what we have in our playbooks, so to speak. And then each week you tinker and you add a thing here or there. But every week is such a different week. You always start with what you do well and let your players do what they do well. But you're always looking for things that you think can give you an advantage. So that'll never change. That'll never change the way we approach that.
To piggyback that, is there a balance, or is there a point where you just say, like, whatever concept you want to say, we're not good at that, we're going to throw that out, or we have to improve it, so we're going to keep trying to work on it?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'd say probably a little bit of both. There's times definitely where there's plays that either Mike has run or I've run or the other coaches run on offense, or the same thing with defense that you bring up. You try to practice it, maybe practice it in training camp. Didn't look good in training camp. You try a little bit in the preseason, and you're like, you know what? Let's not waste our time with that. It's not a good fit for what we want to do. Or you say, give it a little bit more time and see if you can improve on some of the techniques and some of the things. Maybe tweak a concept here or there that's similar to what you've done in the past. But you're always doing that, Dan, every week throughout the season, because you can, for a few weeks you can say, this looks really good, and then you keep doing it, and the other teams are studying you too, so you're always having to adjust.
Last one. Coach, you see what happens with Wan'Dale Robinson coming back after a knee injury, right? And he makes an impact right away, and especially getting a catch across the middle and getting tacklers to hit him. What do you think that says about him to not just be tentative when he comes back, make sure everything's all right, but to really get after it and make an impact right away?
He's worked hard. He's rehabbed hard. I think he had confidence going into the game. Obviously, we were ramping him up in terms of amount of plays he would play, but he felt confident going into the game. That's what you want players to do, is when you're bringing them back from an injury or some time off, is they have to feel confident too, and that's important.